What happens when one of Britain's most beloved actresses sits down for what should be a simple daytime chat, only to face the most disrespectful treatment of her career? It took just 27 seconds of Denise Welch's sharp comments about age and relevance for Dame Judi Dench to realize she had walked straight into an ambush, disguised as an interview. This is the story of how a legendary performer, admired for her grace and professionalism, was pushed to breaking point on live television. A moment that pulled back the curtain on the toxic side of daytime TV and left viewers stunned across the nation. The morning began like any other for Dame Judi. She had agreed to appear on Loose Women to promote her latest film, expecting the unusual warmth she often received on British television. At 78 years old, she had given hundreds of interviews, charmed audiences worldwide, and earned the respect of her entire industry. Nothing could have prepared her for what was about to unfold. As the theme music faded and cameras started rolling, Denise Welch sat at the head of the panel table, her trademark smirk suggesting trouble was coming. Beside her sat Ruth Langsford, Colleen Nolan, and Janet Streetporter, unaware of the storm about to break. "Welcome back to Loose Women," Denise began, her tone sharp from the start. "We are joined today by Dame Judi Dench, though I must say I'm surprised you're still making the rounds at your age. Most people would have retired by now and made space for younger talent." The studio froze. Even the crew behind the cameras seemed stunned at the audacity of the comment. Judi, ever the professional, kept her composure, though a flicker of surprise crossed her face. "Well, Denise," she replied with calm dignity, "when you love what you do as much as I do, age becomes irrelevant. The passion for storytelling doesn't diminish with time." Ruth Langsford shifted uncomfortably, sensing the tension. "Dame Judi, we are absolutely thrilled to have you here. Your new film sounds fascinating." But Denise wasn't done. Leaning forward, smirk widening, she pressed on. "Oh, please, Ruth, let's be honest. How many more Bond films can she squeeze out of that tired old M character? Surely it's time to pass the torch to someone who can actually handle the action." The other panelists exchanged nervous glances. Colleen cleared her throat, while Janet buried herself in her notes. Judi's eyes narrowed slightly, though her voice remained steady. "Experience and wisdom," she said firmly, "are valuable in any role, whether it's M or any other character I've had the privilege to play." "Experience?" Denise scoffed. "Is that what we are calling it? Because from here, it looks like desperation, clinging to roles that should go to actresses who haven't already had their turn in the spotlight." Ruth tried to intervene. "Denise, maybe we should focus on Dame Judi's achievements and her new project." "No, Ruth," Denise snapped, glaring at her No, Ruth, Denise snapped, glaring at her colleague. "I'm tired of tiptoeing around aging stars who refuse to step aside. It's embarrassing, frankly." The studio seemed to grow colder. Judi sat perfectly still, hands folded, but the warmth in her eyes was fading fast. "Embarrassing?" Judi repeated, softly, tasting the word. Denise leaned in, oblivious to the danger. "You're pushing 80, love. Don't you think it's time to let someone else have a go?" Colleen finally spoke up. "Denise, this isn't appropriate. Dame Judi is our guest, and she deserves respect." "Oh, here we go." Denise rolled her eyes. "The respect card. Just because she's got a title doesn't mean she's above an honest conversation. Janet looked up, her expression firm. This isn't honest conversation, Denise. It's just rude. Rude, Denise barked. I'll tell you what's rude. Taking roles away from younger actresses who actually need the work. Clinging to fame when your best days are behind you. Judy's composure finally cracked. Her voice carried a steely edge. My best days behind me? Tell me, Denise, who made you the authority on when an actor should retire? Common sense did, Denise snapped. Something your generation seems to lack. The silence that followed was deafening. Ruth's mouth dropped open. Colleen went pale. Even Janet was speechless. Judi slowly removed her earpiece and placed it on the table. When she looked up, her eyes burned with a fire none of them had ever seen. In my 60 years in this business, she said quietly, her voice cutting like thunder, I have never been spoken to with such disrespect. Denise, realizing she might have gone too far, tried to soften. Now, Dame Judi, I was trying to have an honest discussion. Honest, Judy's voice rose. That was not honest. That was an attempt to humiliate me on live television, and I will not stand for it. Ruth rushed to salvage the situation. Dame Judi, we're so sorry. Denise doesn't speak for us. But Denise doubled down. Oh, come on. Don't get dramatic. This is exactly the problem. Your generation throws a tantrum whenever someone speaks the truth. Judi stood slowly, chair scraping loudly. She straightened to her full height, her presence commanding the entire studio. A tantrum, she said, dangerously calm. Now you think this is a tantrum. Let me tell you the truth. Denise, I have worked harder in 1 week of my career than you have in your entire television run. Denise went pale, but pushed back weakly. That's rich, coming from someone coasting on the same roles for 20 years. Denise, stop this now. Janet finally snapped. You're making a fool of yourself. I'm the only one brave enough to say what everyone's thinking, Denise shot back. No, Colleen, cut in firmly. You're the only one cruel enough to attack a respected guest for no reason. Judi stepped closer, her voice steady. You want to talk about coasting? Tell me, Denise, what have you contributed to the arts? What legacy are you leaving behind? I don't need to justify myself to you, Denise retorted, her voice wavering. No, you don't, Judi replied. But you needed to justify tagging me on live TV, and you have failed spectacularly.
Ruth tried again. Ladies, please, we're live. Let's just take a breath. Don't manage me, Ruth, Judi said firmly, though still respectful. This woman invited me here, under false pretenses, and then launched a vicious attack the moment the cameras rolled. The vicious attack. Denise's face flushed red. I was having a conversation about the industry. If you can't handle criticism, maybe you really are too old for this. The gasp from the panel was audible, even through the microphones. Janet buried her face in her hands. Colleen looked sick. Too old, Judy's eyes flashed. So in your world, women reach a certain age and should simply vanish? Stop creating, stop contributing, stop existing in public spaces? I didn't say that, Denise muttered weakly. Oh, but you did. Judy's voice grew stronger. You said it clearly. You think women my age should step aside, as if talent and experience run out with time. Ruth finally addressed Denise directly. This is unacceptable. Dame Judi is our guest, and you have been hostile since she sat down. Thank you, Ruth, Judi nodded, but I can handle this. Turning back, she added. Do you know what's truly embarrassing, Denise? A woman using her platform to tear down other women. I was just asking the hard questions, Denise protested. Hard questions? Julie laughed, coldly. Hard questions are about my craft, my projects, my work. What you did was personal attack, disguised as journalism. This isn't journalism, Janet said bluntly. It's spite, and it's beneath this show. Spite. Spite. Denise's voice rose. I'll tell you what's spite. Taking roles that belong to actresses half your age because you can't accept your time is over. The studio went dead silent. My time is over? Judi smiled, sharp as glass. Denise, my time will be over when I say it's over. Not when a failed actress turned TV presenter decides it. The words hit like a hammer. Denise opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Colleen stepped in gently. Dame Judi, we admire your work. Please know Denise doesn't speak for us. I appreciate that, Colleen. Judi replied warmly, but this isn't about opinions, it's about basic decency. Denise tried one last attempt. Respect has to be earned. Clinging past glories only earns pity. Judi's expression hardened. Past glories, she repeated. Let me tell you about mine. 8 BAFTAs, an Academy Award, 60 years of professional work that touched millions, damehood from the British Empire, a lifetime of creating art, inspiring young actors, and bringing joy to audiences. Tell me, Denise, what will you be remembered for? Denise's face drained of color. She looked to her fellow panelists for support, but found none. You have shown me exactly who you are in 15 minutes, Judi said, with icy calm. A bitter person who mistakes cruelty for honesty. Janet exploded. Denise, this is disgraceful. Dame Judi came as a guest. You should be ashamed. Judi picked up her handbag. Do you know what's truly sad, Denise? You could have had a meaningful conversation with me. Instead, you wasted it on spite. Dame Judi, please don't leave, Ruth pleaded. Denise should apologize. Apologize? For what? Denise snapped, but her voice was hollow. For showing the whole country who you really are, Judi said firmly. For wasting everyone's time with bitterness. Colleen added softly. Dame Judi is right. This was unacceptable. Judi faced Denise one last time. Judi faced Denise one last time. From the moment I sat down, you attacked my age, my relevance, my right to work. That's not journalism, Denise. That's bullying. The word landed hard. Denise slumped back, silent and defeated. Judi turned to the camera. Viewers at home, this behavior is not typical of British television. Most presenters are professional, respectful, and eager to have meaningful conversations. Most presenters are professional, respectful, and eager to have meaningful conversations. She looked at Ruth, Janet, and Colleen. Thank you for trying to keep dignity alive during this mess. With that, Judi Dench walked off set, head held high, leaving behind 3 supportive panelists, a shaken studio, and 1 humiliated presenter who had mistaken highness for weakness. The cameras lingered for a few seconds, capturing Nay's silence and the stunned faces around her. It wasn't just a viral TV moment, it was a masterclass in dignity under fire.